Music is your weapon. Perfect. What is it to move? Arrow keys to match patterns. The more accurate your rhythm, the stronger your attacks are. Reach the goal to win. Note, the enemy spawning is very randomized, and as a result, once in a while the game has a lot of enemies in it, while other times it is possible to make it to the exit without seeing a single enemy. Try planning again, see if it's too easy or too difficult. It's a web player. Go for it. Any particular reason why you went with the web player this time around? What is it to move? Arrow keys down. Arrow keys match the pattern. Okay. Space to start.
This is the Downbeat. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
So, confession, not the greatest at music. Whoops. Oh man. As you can see, there are also weird pathfinding bugs on the enemies, but they're usually rare. Alright.
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh man, I was feeling a little braver because I was actually starting to figure out memorize the beats. The fact that scores are not being displayed is a little annoying.
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm not attacking them. Am I actually hurting them? Okay. Darn it. I'm doing well now.
What's the game like, Taro? Give us a play-by-play.
Oh my gosh, it's lagging.
Oh. Well,
I just tapped the buttons in the right order. Okay, that was me. Why is the button delayed? I'm just gonna commit suicide.
Over.
Alright. So... Oh, whoops.
This is the downbeat.
The beginning is a little too slow.
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Unless it's because it's trying to...
That was awesome.
Oh gosh, I got stuck on the wall. Darn it. Alright, I'm gonna beat this. Somehow.
So like axle line 0 would be flush off the left side.
Okay, just one path, that's good. Yeah! So one thing that I'm having a hard time is that I have to keep track of what's going on the left side of the screen and then try to copy it on the right side of the screen. I kind of want it if they're both on the same sides. And to be completely honest, I kind of realized that memorization is actually going to be your biggest benefit in this game. Which, to be fair, is not my favorite part of these rhythm games, of a lot of rhythm games. Oh god, that wrong.
I'm gonna check the sounds of this I'm never gonna stop. No matter how much it's frustrating, I know you're gonna actually control this photos and do all this stuff. It's not that frustrating, like, but it is like when you don't have like a career or something to like focus on that. But I'm never gonna stop shooting photos. It's so fun, and these pictures are like I don't know, it's just
Yay!
like,
Alright, I did it for the second time, and I felt like I did a substantial amount of work to get there, so I got a pretty good idea of it. I apologize for not much commentary throughout the playthrough there. I was kind of really focused on trying to make sure that I got beat right. Anyways, there was a suggestion from someone else. They suggested to overlay right over the player so your eyes don't have to move. I do agree with that line of thinking as well. I thought that the character kind of moved slow. I kind of wanted it to move faster, especially since dodging seems to be a main mechanic. But then again, the enemies move slow enough that I didn't feel like it's, you know, it's particularly, the enemies themselves weren't moving particularly fast. That I felt like it was, you know, completely unfair. In regards to the game and whether I found it fun or not, whether I found it innovative or not, I find the concept to be interesting. Being able to move independently while your attacks is binded specifically towards this beat-related thing, I thought was a really interesting thing. The fact that you can move around fast enough kind of gives you this sense of, okay, you have control over dodging enemies, but you don't have as much control over attacking them. And attacking them is about making sure that you're able to, you know, decipher, memorize, and be able to repeat what was played earlier. And you made it with only 4 beats, which is actually a good thing. I thought that it was easy to memorize. It was just a matter of figuring out what notes go to what key at that point. Criticisms. I thought it was kind of slow, and even though I died a lot. What I mean by that is I felt like you moved kind of slowly and the build-up was a little slow. I appreciate in the beginning that it's all about, you know, trying to orient yourself and understand how to play the game. And then you start introducing enemies and so forth. So you have this, like, even if it's procedurally generated, you have this element where you try to make sure at least a player can enter into the game safely or not. And I really appreciate that. The difficulty does seem to ramp up at what I thought was a fair pace. But much of it was about concentrating on making sure that you can actually type in the keys. That it was hard for me to, you know, move. It was hard for me to move around at the same time as trying to type in the notes that were repeated. And I struggled to really keep grasp of the two things at once. And I don't know if that was intentional or not. I personally didn't like the forceful nature of trying to pay attention to things at once personally. I do appreciate the music attack being pretty much auto. You don't have to aim at anything, and so long as an enemy is close by, then it'll hit. But at the same time, there's not much satisfaction in how much control you had over your attacks, so much as you're able to memorize what the music were from the first place. So I feel like there was like a few things that could have been improved. I'm not really sure exactly how per se with this, outside of general UI related things, like as mentioned earlier, having the arrows right and smack dab in the middle of the character anyways. I do think a lot more juice could have been used. When I say this, especially when attacking other enemies, some more feedback in regards to whether you got hit the note correctly, and whether you managed to kill the enemy or not, or whether you hit it. If there was a sense of effectiveness going on with camera shakes, maybe a little pauses, time pauses, and so forth, I think would be really cool. Overall, I think that it was a very nice experiment. I particularly appreciate how it came together, and I like what was going on. But at the same time, I felt like I was kind of in a scatterbrain mode, trying to figure things out that I barely could put together what I needed to do. I think that sense of panic may not have been what you intended, and I feel like that could have been introduced a little more nicely. If you don't mind me asking if you can close the door, that'll be great.
It's kind of like a sauna in here.
Yes, but like the sound in the background is in fact going to be an annoyance throughout this entire stream. Anyways, let's go with the ratings.
We can't do summer streams, guys.
Summer streams.
Innovation, I do consider it innovative. I had an average amount of fun. I'm afraid to say it required a lot of concentration for me, and I didn't really appreciate that. I do like the theme a lot. I thought the graphics was doable. The audio was really good. Very well done on that end of things. There's no humor, so I'm not going to bother rating that. The mood, I think, could have been a little more helpful. Ultimately, I'm going to go by whether it was packaged well or not, and personally, I think it was kind of packaged in a very average fashion. When I say this, I mean like it didn't wow me as I would have liked. The premise was interesting. I tried playing around with it, and I felt like it was put together a little clumsily at several places. That made, and I kind of struggled having fun with it because of a lot of problems. Is it possible to maybe kind of slightly close the door?
You can really hear it.
Yeah, you can actually hear it if you listen to the recording.
We only got, what, half hour left?
An hour. Very hectic game that required a lot of concentration. While the game felt fair with its difficulty, I thought that the UI was implemented poorly. It was really hard to concentrate on two things at once, and I think serious improvements can be made. On the musical notes. Also add some juice. Explosions, particle effects, camera shakes, etc. So that's my comments in regards to that.